Welcome back to Preps Today with John Millea. We're coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services Studios. We want to thank our longtime sponsor, Pizza Barn in Princeton. Jody Stays, great operation up there in Princeton. If you like this show, please subscribe to your favorite podcast app. It's free. It's the easiest way to listen. And by now, you probably have a good idea of what we have at TalkNorth.com. Great outdoor content. Ranch Favors High School football show is going nuts. Mike Grimm on the Gophers. John Krasinski, Michael Russo, Anthony LaPanta, Dawn Mitchell, John Millea, Jeff Diamond. Check it all out at TalkNorth.com. We do appreciate you listening. Today's special guest, Erik Hermanson. But John, I'll let you introduce him properly and take over the show here.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Yeah, a week ago, I spent some time in Cleveland. I wrote about Erik, who's a rare combination. The head football coach at Cleveland, which is down there by St. Peter and Mankato, and also the band director, a combination I've never heard of before, football and band. Erik, thanks for joining us. How you doing today?
My pleasure. I am more tired than usual. I'll pass my bedtime for a Tuesday night game, but I'm feeling great.
Good. And you had a nice win. I know you beat St. James. It's a Class A Section 2 playoff opener. You're going to go to United South. You're going to go to United South Central, right, on Saturday?
That's right. My hometown.
Okay. There you go. You're from down there. What do you know about that team? You've been able to scout anybody yet?
Yeah, we've seen a couple of their games. They are tough. They run that kind of that Michigan T offense where they're going to be running all over the place, and who knows who has the ball. Pretty good team.
Yeah. Well, you've had good teams over the years too. You've been to a prep bowl. You've been to state playoffs several times. I've been down to Cleveland. It's one of the most unique football fields I've seen because it's basically kind of in a semi bowl, but the home fans can sit on the hill, bring their blankets and their chairs, have a great time. It's a great setting down there. I haven't been to a game in a while. I need to get back, but I guess there's no more home games this year, and I'm going to retire. So maybe I'm going to come as a fan and have some fun. You never know. We'll see what happens. Well, let's talk about band here. This is really tremendous source of pride in Cleveland. Cleveland's a great small town. You get great support. You know, took me on a tour of the new addition to the school, a new gym, which is unbelievable. Locker rooms, weight room, one of the greatest band rooms I've ever seen. And you gave me some numbers. So in grades 6 through 12 at your school, there are 315 students. And 239 of them, about 75%, are in band, and those are incredible numbers. And this one just blows me away. You got 39 kids on the football team, 35 of them are in band, which is phenomenal. And you came to Cleveland right out of college, I think.
Yep.
And you have really, from talking to people down there, you have really built this thing. I think people who listen to this show and are sports fans probably know how you build a sports program. Building a band, I'm guessing, is pretty similar, huh?
Well, I was just trying to write down a few words that would kind of describe what you need to do to build a program.
Yeah.
And as I did, they really had nothing to do with either specifically band or sports. I was just thinking about like the kids' buy-in, their effort, their habits, their mindset, expectations, accountability, hard work, attitude, teamwork, your daily process, belief, coachability. Am I talking about football or band? I don't know. They're identical.
Yeah, no, and you told me that too. I think one of the quotes I had from you is you kind of look at yourself as a band coach and a football director, kind of turning those things on their heads. And hearing your band, I heard your jazz band last year at a competition, just blew me away down there in Jordan. But your pep band, Holy Mackerel, was that sound great? And I'm listening as you're playing before a volleyball match when I was down there last week. Nobody takes a breath between songs either. That's unbelievable. The last note of one song, and the next thing you hear half a second later is the first note of the next song. This is pretty technical, and there's some real work that goes into this, isn't it?
Yeah, we try to do some mashups so we have less dead air because it's always awkward for everyone. So it's how long can we go? I think we can go, it started out, let's put 2 songs together, putting it together. And now, we try to do 20 minutes if we can.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
DJ
it was
style.
fun. That's what it was. I thought I was in a club when I was in your gym. And, and you told me too that you were missing a percussionist that night because he was on a combine getting the corn brought in. And
Yeah,
you said
exactly.
when you're playing at a volleyball match, your woodwinds are down because a bunch of the volleyball players are woodwinds players. So,
And then we play for football, and then we have all girls, and then it's all the woodwinds playing, and there's no brass. So
that's a
always
unique
something.
sound too.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Tell us how you got started in music, how you got started in athletics. Take us back to your younger days, how you got to where you are now.
Sure. My mother still talks about how in kindergarten I just told her that I wanted to be a band director, and I don't know if it was just from going to concerts or what it was. I wanted to play trombone, and as I started and went through the high school program, I auditioned and made all-state band, and as a junior, and I was probably the worst kid in the all-state band that made it, and then so that year I just dedicated myself, and I made all-state orchestra the next year, and that was just the hard work in between those and just trying to get better and wanting to not be the one that was tagging along, wanting to be one of the leaders, just showed you kind of what it was like. And then when you go to college, it's just that next step up, like especially at Gustavus. I mean, that is just an awesome music program.
Yes, yeah, it is. How many former students of yours have become band directors? That's one question I didn't ask you when I was working on this story.
Just a couple. Couple have. Quite a few have gone on to play in college.
Right.
Especially at Gustavus and Bethany. A couple band directors. Yep.
Yeah. So take us through your day. What is a day? Well, you said you're tired because you had a Tuesday night football game, but I mean, you've got multiple instrumental groups, before school, during school, after school, you got football practice. What's a typical day for you like, or maybe a typical week in the fall?
Sure. Well, this week's a little atypical where we had volleyball pep band Monday night and then a football game last night. But I have a 0-hour class every day. So I have a jazz band that meets before school every day at 7. Right. And 4 of those are junior high bands that are feeder groups for the high school groups. There's 4 jazz bands that meet during school for high school. And then one band, the band that met this morning, actually, and man, was that an early morning, is we actually have a holiday band that plays just Christmas shows. We play at the Mall of America and just multiple winter holiday stuff.
Sure.
And that's just one of my favorite groups. But my day, I have 11-12 concert band, and then I have a 9-10 concert band, a 7-8 concert band, and then 6th grade band, and they all meet every day. And then in between those, we have small group lessons.
Yeah. You're busy. There's no doubt about it. Then you go out to football practice,
and it's great both ways. You go from school to football, and it just feels refreshing. And then in the morning, it feels refreshing to come back to band. So they really help each other.
And as the football coach, I know it's always sad when the football season ends, but your schedule gets a lot lighter in the winter and the spring, I bet.
Well, I was talking to my wife last night where there's sometimes at this year where if the volleyball team wasn't good, we're done with pep band for a while till basketball. And if the football team isn't good, we're done with football. And this year we're doing both barrels.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, no, that's good. Well, they're lucky to have you down there, Erik. I think that's about all I had for you. If people want to read about Erik and the Cleveland band and football, go to John's Journal at mshsl.org. I will let you go, Erik. We'll let you get back. You got busy stuff. You got bands to work with. You got another football game to get ready for, and can't thank you enough for spending time with me and giving me a tour of the place. And boy, I sure enjoyed hearing the band.
No, thank you. The whole town here appreciates you and reads you. So it's sad that you're retiring, but I hope you enjoy it.
I will be sad, and I will enjoy it as well. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thanks, Erik. We'll let you go.
Thank you, Erik. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Good. Yeah, he's a good guy, Jim. I really had fun down there. I've seen his football teams play over the years, and I mean, I think I told this story on the podcast maybe a week or two ago. I went to a game at Norwood Young America Central High School. Mm-hmm. Cleveland played there 2-3 weeks ago. And all I needed to do was get a good photo of Erik coaching football. And I did, during warmups. I think I left after the first quarter because I kind of had my mission was accomplished. And Norwood Central is really good. I think they're either unbeaten or one loss. They handled Cleveland quite handily, and so the game was not in doubt. And I had my photo, and I kind of got out of there. And I chatted with Erik before the game, and he told me that the following Monday the band would play at volleyball. So we spent a lot of time together. Then I was there quite early and met him in the band room. It's funny. I walked into the band room, and the band room is kind of, the school's up on the hill, the football field's below the hill, and there was a junior high football game going on. And of course, Erik, the band director, football coach, was standing at the big window in his band room watching the junior high football game. So he had one foot in both worlds there, but it's just rare. And as I wrote in the story, the only thing I can think that's similar to this in Osseo, the football field is named after John Hermanson, who died a while back. He was a head football coach and choir director at Osseo High School for 30, 40 years. That's the only comparable thing. I know other band directors who also are coaches. One is a good friend of mine in Winona, Tim Gleason. He's one of the band directors at Winona High School, head coach of girls basketball, head track coach. But football and band, that's a combination I'm not aware of anybody else doing. I'm sure it's been done. I'm just not aware.
It's fantastic. And I always say, sports helped me a lot as a young human being, giving me confidence, toughening me up. But music, that can stay with you your whole life. You ain't gonna play football your whole life. You can play a band instrument. You can be interested in music and get fulfillment from music your entire life.
Yeah, our 3 kids, 2 of them were athletes, and all 3 were in band at Rosemount High School, which has just an outstanding band program. And I've told people there, I've told the band directors, I was talking with Pete Roback, the principal at Rosemount. I saw him at a football game recently, and we were chatting on the sidelines. And I said, I think of all the different activities our kids were involved in outside of the classroom, nothing did as much for them as band.
Yep.
Specifically marching band. It's just, it's just so rigorous, and you put on these shows and you work so hard all summer. It's blood, sweat, and tears. So yeah, shout out to band directors and band kids and band families. It's just great stuff.
Yeah, but if I were starting a company from scratch, I think I'd try to hire all band kids, former band kids.
You couldn't go wrong. Couldn't go wrong. Let's continue here. I got a few short notes.
Yep, John. Hey, let's thank Jody Stay and Pizza Barn, and then we'll wrap up the show with your notes and your MVT.
There you go. Let's talk about the Pizza Barn. It's October. It's late October at this point, and that means you can still get the pizza of the month at the Pizza Barn in downtown Princeton. It's the Oktoberfest. Starts with their famous homemade crust. Then there's tangy barbecue sauce, sliced bratwurst sauerkraut, freshly shredded mozzarella and Swiss, a little sprinkle of black pepper. Like everything on the great big menu at the Pizza Barn, it's available for dine-in, takeout, take and bake, and delivery. The food truck season, thanks to this outstanding weather, is still going strong. This week, you'll find one of those Pizza Barn food trucks at the Fairview Surgical Center in Maple Grove from 11 to 1 on Thursday. If you live in Roseville or nearby, one of the Pizza Barn food trucks will be at the City of Roseville Halloween Spooktacular at the Harriet Alexander Nature Center on Saturday from 1 to 4. And also on Saturday, one of the food trucks will be back at John Harvey Field in Princeton, where the Tigers will meet Rocori in a big-time football playoff game at 1 o'clock on Saturday. So there's lots of chances to go visit the Pizza Barn, hang out at the food trucks. And thanks again to our friend Jody Stay and her great crew at the Pizza Barn. They do so many great things for so many people, and we're proud to have them as part of our podcast.
No doubt about it. Hey, remember, at TalkNorth.com, we keep growing the podcast network. We have lots of outdoor stuff from Ron Shara Productions and The Flush and stuff you see in Valley Sports. Great podcast expansions of those franchises. On this show, on this side of the TalkNorth.com business, we have John Millea and Preps, Roy Smalley, Lavelle Neal, myself on the Twins, John Krasinski on the Wolves, Don Mitchell's interview and general sports talk, Randy Shaver on high school football. He's been doing great stuff. Mike Grimm on the Gophers, Russo and LaPanta on the Wild, Kevin Gorg on hockey, the Bar Down Beauties on hockey. Just all kinds of great stuff. Keep checking it out. We do appreciate it. If you like the show, please subscribe to your favorite podcast app. Now, John, throw a few notes at us.
Yeah, we talked about the football playoffs with Erik Hermanson. Those are going on now. First round in the 5A down through 9-player. First and second round games this week. The 6As have their first round playoff games Friday night. There's also state tournaments in action this week. Girls tennis, individual singles, doubles, and team. That'll wrap up Friday. Soccer state quarterfinals for girls and boys are this week at several sites. And next week, the soccer teams that win this week, they'll head indoors to U.S. Bank Stadium for the semifinals and championship games. Speaking of soccer, let's congratulate Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa boys soccer coach Rafael Koenig. He recorded his 100th career victory, and he did that in a section championship game, which is a great piece of timing. Volleyball playoffs are underway. The Minnesota Volleyball Coaches Association have released their final rankings of the season. The top-ranked teams are Mayor Lutheran in Class A, Albany in AA, Delano in 3A, and Lakeville South in 4A.
Excellent. All right. And who do we have this week for your MVT?
The most valuable teammate is Anna Byers. She's a senior volleyball player at Westbrook Walnut Grove. She plays on both the varsity and the JV. Anna is always the first to encourage her teammates during challenging moments. She provides motivation and support on and off the court. Her positive attitude fosters a sense of camaraderie that makes the team feel more like a family. She embodies the true spirit of teamwork. Congrats to Anna Byers of Westbrook Walnut Grove on being named a most valuable teammate.
Excellent. Thanks again to Jody Stay and the Pizza Barn. Thanks again to Aquarius Home Services. We appreciate all of our sponsors and all of our listeners. John, thanks for bringing on Erik Hermanson. That was cool stuff. That's a great story. So we'll be back next week with Preps Today with John Millea. More great stories from around the state, including somewhere near you.